Hi, it's Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology, here to give the astrological forecast for Sunday, October 13th, 2024. Well, it's a day with many shifting moods. Both the Moon and Mercury, planet of communication, change signs within minutes of each hour today, moving from air signs to water signs, and that portends a real shift of energy from mind to emotion, from more intellectual conceptions to, oh my God, here's what I'm feeling, sort of energy. We'll begin at the beginning. The sun today is at 20, moving to 21 degrees of love, beauty, and social justice oriented air sign Libra. And the moon today, as I mentioned, is in late Aquarius to begin the day. It makes a hard square 90-degree angle to Venus, planet of love and affection, beauty, the arts, and the ruling planet of Libra, by the way. And that means the morning gets off to a nice, sweet start, but with a little bit of an edge to it. That occurs 4:08 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 12:08 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And then there is about a 90-minute period where we have all of this activity of planets shifting signs and making hard aspects to other planets before they do, which means it's a kind of a tension-filled time period. This begins with Mercury, planet of communication, in a hard square to Pluto, which you recall is the lord of death and rebirth and transformation and deep issues, often dark issues, having just turned from retrograde to direct motion within the last 48 hours. And what that means is it's kind of a heavy-duty sort of morning. Mercury square Pluto occurs precisely at 7:03 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 10:03 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 3:03 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And then on almost the same moment, the moon makes a hard angle, a square to Uranus, a planet of upsets and sudden change, 26 Aquarius to Uranus at 26 degrees of Taurus. That occurs at 7:11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 10:11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 3:11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Just a few hours go by before Mercury then moves into the deep dark water sign of Scorpio. And you recall that Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, so this makes this Mercury transit particularly impactful. So if you're kind of thinking deep thoughts today that you just don't quite know what to do with, that's Mercury going into Scorpio. That occurs at 12:23 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 3:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 8:23 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Then the moon moves from late Aquarius, where it's kind of doing its own thing, into the mystical, magical water sign of Pisces, which gives a much more intuitive and creative flavor to the day. That occurs just shortly thereafter, 12:55 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 3:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 8:55 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Moon then makes a harmonious trine to Mercury, which, as you recall, just moved into Scorpio just about 4 minutes after that. So all of this kind of starts out tough, ends well, and then later on, Mars, planet of energy and often conflict, makes another hard angle. This is a square to Chiron, called the wounded healer. So we're not out of the woods at all during this time period. That occurs 1:36 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 4:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 9:36 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Then a few hours go by with no aspects, after we've sort of been in a canoe down the rapids of a river, as it were. And then we get to the evening, where the sun at 21 degrees of Libra makes a direct opposition to Chiron, the wounded healer, at 21 of Aries. Translated, that's like, all right, stuff comes up, but let's just heal it already. That occurs 7:28 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 10:28 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 3:28 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The final aspect is the best one. So you go through the whole day before you get to the moon in a harmonious trine to Jupiter, planet of good fortune and expansion and optimism, at 21 degrees of Gemini at 8:52 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 11:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 4:52 a.m. tomorrow Greenwich Mean Time. So it's a day with lots of moods. Let's all stay straight and centered and breathe, and we'll get through it just fine. I'm Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology. Now, if you would like to have a personal reading with me, you can book it on my website, which is starpresence.com. Remember, from the very moment that you're born, you've got star presence. Enjoy this day, no matter what.